Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you, and thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. Of course, in 2021, I'm going to be doing a video every other week here on YouTube, and I'm going to be pre-launching the video over at my Patreon channel 2 weeks early at patreon.com/LiquorHound. So if you need that little head start to go out and find the bottles, feel free to join us over there. Now, the bottle I really wanted to review today is the Laphroaig 16-year-old Islay single malt whiskey. Now, this one kind of dropped on shelves very back end of 2020 for me in December, but I'm still seeing some of these out there. So I wanted to do a video review so that if you were kind of like, maybe you thought about it when you first saw it and then you kind of forgot about it, maybe this will drive you back and to go seek this bottle, okay? All right, now, little history on the Laphroaig 16. Big changes happened in 2015 at Laphroaig. In 2015 was right around the time they were dropping the 18-year age statement. Of course, that bottle, in my opinion, was pretty up and down. There was some good ones and some not so good ones, and it was kind of a low ABV, and but the pricing was really solid on it. I can remember getting those for like $65, right around there, $70. But they dropped that. Immediately replaced it with the 15-year-old, which, there was a lot of grumbling about that because this was only 43% as well. But I think Laphroaig was listening, because at that time they also did a duty-free release of a 16-year-old that came in a small 35 cl bottle for $50. But that one was also at 43%. So there was a lot of, people trying to get that one to see what that one was like. But of course, as most duty-free things go, very hard to acquire one unless you're traveling internationally. But here we are, 2020, very back in 2020, 2021, and we get the Laphroaig 16-year-old in a full-size bottle, 750 ml, at 48% ABV. So let's go ahead and taste it, nose it, see how we feel about it, and then I just wanted to, just for grins, kind of compare it to the old 15. Now right away I can tell, and I hope you can see this, but color wise I think the 15 is a little darker. Alright, but let's get on the nose of the 16-year-old Laphroaig and see what we pick up. I remember when I first cracked this bottle, I was surprised at how much I really liked where it was going. So now, when I get back to it, I'm still pleasant. I'm still pretty happy with it, I'll say it like that. There's a really nice barbecue smoke to it. Very clean peat. A little bit of that brine is in the air in here. Of course, that little medicinal tone that Laphroaig tends to give you is in here, but it's underneath that big, smoky, meaty smoke. There's a little bit of a, again with red berries, a little bit of red apples in here. You know what? You know what's changing though? The more I think about this one, because I'm also getting hit with a lemon oil. And the more I notice it, the more I'm kind of going to focus that on a red berry and a golden apple, and with a little lemon oil. That's a better call. There is also, when I took a big inhalation there's a little bit of a pear. There's a little bit of a pear tone to it. Maybe a little bit of a ginger as well. Cinnamon, of course. And a little bit of a creamy vanilla to go along with that kind of lemon, I'm going to call it like a lemon icing type nose. Very, very nice. We'll go ahead and taste it while we're at it. Alright, here we go. Laphroaig 16, limited release. Wow, okay. Boom, flavor bomb. Wow. Tropical fruits. A little ash that I didn't pick up on the nose is coming through on the palate. The tropical fruit is actually developing in this one. So when I first cracked it, I wasn't getting tropical fruit. It's starting to pull a little more now. Now that it's had time to breathe. Enters solid medium, just above medium viscosity. Feels very creamy as it goes down. You get hit immediately by you're taken by the sweetness of it, and you feel like it's going to be really nice and mellow, and then you start getting this swelling of the fruit component, so you get that pear, that little bit of man, it's still transitioning though. Hold on. So you get the pear, you get the lemon oil, you get the little bit of the red berries in there, and then at the very back end, as it rolls over on the mid palate, and that's when you start picking up like there's a roasted nuttiness as well going on with that big meaty smoke just lingering. There's that little bit of that, again, brininess is carrying throughout. The pears was surprising how I picked that up front. But then on the back end, again, it's almost like on the tropical fruit, maybe a little papaya. I'm going to focus on those right now. Underripe pineapple. Just slightly underripe. There's a little sweetness to that. And maybe just a little bit of a little hint of, I'm on the fence of guava. A little guava, a little papaya. But I'm surprised at how the smoke, that meatiness of the smoke, kind of transitions on the mid palate and turns into an ashy smoke on the back end. Alright, let's run it from beginning, see if we can line this up. Creamy, light caramel sweetness, swelling of the fruits, again mixed red berries, that pear. Ooh. It's already transitioning as you start rising up on the spice of the cinnamon. You're right there, you're joined by kind of like a roasted nuttiness, some walnuts in there. The sea spray is misting on top. The meatiness of that smoke that hit early, it kind of hit with all the fruits up front as well. It never really turns into, you know, some of the Laphroaigs will get really medicinal and iodine. For me, I pick up a little bit of that in the mid palate as the smoke is transitioning. So you're getting this really meaty smoke up front. It starts to turn, starts getting ashy, and right there at the mid palate when it's turning, then you can kind of focus on a little bit of that iodine. Doesn't quite get into band-aids, which is good. But at that time, that's when you're also picking up that big kind of roasted walnut characteristic. And it starts rolling over on the back end with that little bit of papaya, that underripe pineapple. And again, that smoke is still kind of twisting because it's ashy, but then it gets that little bit of that meatiness kind of comes back around. And the lemon kind of icing that I was picking up on the nose, for me, that's just a lemon oil. And that's in there. It kind of waves in and out of things as other things take the stage and showcase themselves. But I think on the finish is where you pick up a lot of that lemon oil for me. Overall, really enjoy it. I think the proof is well balanced in this one. It gives you a lot of oomph up front, but a lot of staying power as well. But it's not big enough to where it really calls for water. Now I'm going to rinse here because I want to see what the 2015 is doing of the 15-year-old. 200th anniversary bottling. Gosh, this one's tropical. This one is those tropical. Wow, the pineapple is very, very ripe in this one. Pineapple, guava, and papaya. Vanilla, plums, pears. This one, it kind of got a spicy. When the spices hit, it was a cinnamon and kind of that ginger tone. Here I pick up a little cinnamon, but it's very balanced, and there's a lot of fruit on top of it. Even the smoke is, and as I'm trying to really coat the glass to pull everything, but the smoke is so nicely done. It's balanced. It feels clean. Clean peat, clean burning peat. There's not a lot of meatiness to it. There's a little meatiness, but it's not like this one was. And there's definitely not ash on the nose. All right, let's taste it. Again, 43%, so this is at a little bit of a detriment, but let's see. You can tell on the palate just a little bit, because it's not quite as viscous. This one's like a straight up medium viscosity. This one's a little more viscous, but wow, the flavors. Ooh, you feel like you could drink a lot of this one. Very easy, creamy entry, sweet, almost like that pineapple hits up front with a naturally sweetened pineapple juice is the sweetener. You get a little bit of lemon oil underneath that, a little pear, a little mixed berries. Big smoke starts layering in on top. It does feel a little meaty. It never turns and gets ashy like this one was doing. This one that peat kind of stays the same. It swells and then it kind of tapers, but it remains the same meaty, kind of lightly meaty smoke. If I chew on the very back end, then I can pick up a little hint of ash, but this one, I mean, my guess would be there had to be some sherried barrels in there, because there is just a really nice complex fruit component to it. And then the tropical fruits are kind of pretty much over the top for a 15-year-old. For this one, very, very solid. Of the two, I really like this one for ease of drinkability, and then also the kind of like the flavors are very bold. They're very easy to pick out, so it's very enjoyable. You don't have to really think about this one nearly as much. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the 16 real quick. Yeah, this one focuses a little more on that kind of lemon oil, lemon zest to go with that little bit of pear and light red berries. Big meaty smoke, yep. But I really enjoy it. I like them both for two different reasons. I like how, you could probably go through a bottle of this pretty fast. This one's going to hold a little longer because you're going to go, the finish just rolls just a little bit longer. I like how it hints at the tropical fruit, so it gives you a little bit of it, but it's not as in your face as it is over here. Now, if this one was at 48%, it'd be game over. That's the easy winner in that case. But if you have some of these, or you see some of these 15s, know that they can be very solid, especially at their price point. I want to say, boy, how much was that one back in the day? $80, I think, was the price point on it. But still a really good buy if you happen to see any of the 15s. But if you see the 16, I would highly recommend picking this one up even first, though. Just because there's not going to be a lot of this to go around, at least not this year. So pick this up. Know that it's solid if you like those tones. I hope you enjoyed this video review. If you did, keep leaving all those great comments. I really appreciate those. And until next time, everyone, have a great day, and cheers.